Hello Pokemon trainers, this is GatorX, and today I'll be talking about the possibility of Diamond and Pearl remakes. Before I begin, I just want to remind you to check out my last video for a follow-up to Z Crystals. Also, really quickly want to shout out Omega Graphics for making me this new banner and profile picture, which I will be using. You can go ahead and check out his links below. With that taken care of, let's begin. Now, I've talked about Sinnoh Remakes in the past and haven't been the most supportive of the discussion. The difference is, that was back in January. And jump to present day, it's already May and so far we haven't heard anything. In my 2DS XL discussion video, I brought up how May would be the perfect time to announce something for a November 2017 release. Also, as pointed out by Link Cable on Twitter, who was so kind to tag me with some real Poketubers, games have been announced on May 7th and 8th in the past. I'm not making any predictions as to what exactly would be announced, it currently being May 7th, but I've said May is definitely the time to announce something. Of course, Game Freak could pull a 2015 and just not release a main series game this year. The difference here is that in 2015 there was a Pokemon spin-off game in Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. Now let's talk a little about spin-off games. Spin-off games have taken a different turn as of late. Pokemon Trozei and Rumble have both gone free to play on the eShop. There hasn't been a Pokemon Ranger game in a while, and console games have slowed down aside from Pokken last year. The Mystery Dungeon series' last game was put out in 2015. The spin-off games definitely seem to have slowed down in the past years, and in 2016 the spin-off game was Pokemon Go. And that was even very different, it being on mobile and not even on a Nintendo system. Now in the past, main series Pokemon games had around 2-year gaps between most releases, and the spin-offs seemed a little more abundant to fill in these gaps. Between 2009 and 2014, a Pokemon game was released every year, and this was when spin-off games kinda seemed to slow down a bit. Now, Pokemon Sun and Moon was a big game, and the hype was strong from early summer up until release. But it did seem to fall off a few months after release, which I may discuss in more detail at a later time. But now that we're firmly settled in the 7th generation, the question is, will Game Freak return to a yearly game schedule? I think now that we are, the answer is yes, but then again, Game Freak is and likes to be unpredictable. Assuming that this will be the case though, the true question is, what will this game be? Like I mentioned previously, there has been even more discussion about Diamond and Pearl remakes being the next games. There's no real evidence for Sinnoh remakes being next aside from patterns and possible references in Sun and Moon. And that's been the problem as of late. There are good arguments for and against Sinnoh remakes, but there's no solid evidence that they'll for sure be the next games. Personally, I would like them to be. I'm already feeling nostalgic for 4th gen, but we'll just have to wait and see what Game Freak decides. Again, they could definitely throw a curveball and end up going Stars release or something else. I did mention previously that there was a point where the game releases were as follows: Ruby and Sapphire, Fire Red and Leaf Green, and then Emerald version. In this pattern, a generational remake was between a first game and its follow-up game, being Emerald after Ruby and Sapphire. So it definitely could happen with this, getting Sun and Moon first, Diamond and Pearl remakes, and then another follow-up to Alola like Pokemon Stars or Eclipse. But some people have brought up the fact that you can still actually play Diamond and Pearl on the 3DS. And that the remakes would only come once we've moved on to a new system of hardware, as in something beyond the 3DS, or even on the Switch. But like I mentioned in my 2DS XL video, the Switch will not be replacing the 3DS. It is entirely possible we could see main series Pokemon games on the Switch, but I highly doubt it. At least I doubt the fact that there would be a new main series games, as in the Diamond and Pearl remakes, being on the Switch. Who knows, an alternate version like Stars or Eclipse could definitely find its home on the Switch, but as far as Diamond and Pearl remakes, I believe that their home is on the 3DS or the successor of the 3DS. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think that Diamond and Pearl remakes are coming this year? Do you think they'll be the Stars games instead? Or do you think that the Switch will take over? Go ahead and leave a comment and we can continue the discussion. Also remember to leave a like to show your support and subscribe to stick around for new videos. You can enable notifications by clicking the bell icon next to the subscribe button. This will make sure you see each new video as it's posted and make you a member of the Chingling Squad. Anyway, this has been GatorX. Have a nice day.